Well, thank you so much, Sammy Forson, for attempting to play my favorite song, Hello God, by Dolly Parton, as a welcome gift. I truly accept it and hope that you can play the full thing for me sometime later. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to your favorite business development program on radio, Masterclass. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business and is brought to us by Goyle. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yedia. Masterclass comes your way every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. and runs all the way through to 2:15 p.m. here on your superstation Joy 99.7, beg your pardon. My name is Yabanafo and I'm glad to be your host for today's edition of Masterclass. Last week here on the show we concluded our conversation here, 5-week conversation it was, on winning pitches and the entrepreneurship learning curve. We had that conversation with Albert Ni Ayitego, very spirited young Ghanaian, who's a chartered management accountant and also the head of finance and investment at the Ghana Commodities Exchange. And for those 5 weeks, my good friend and brother, Daryl Kwao, hosted the show, and he sat in for me the entire period while I was away. I mean, listening to him, I almost felt like I could get used to it. But all good things, they say, do come to an end, so I'm back here, and I'm excited to be back here. To my brother Daryl, I say thank you so much, and as we say in my language, Unyamin Shrao. It does feel good to be back among my own, especially back to you, our cherished listeners. But we're moving into another month, and having ended our conversations in the month of August, we start a new conversation in a new month. And the thing about new months that I love is that, you know, it's a brand new month full of new opportunities, new strengths, new beginnings, new openings, and definitely new growth. You know, whatever happened in the month of August, whatever you were not able to do as a business person, whatever plans you had, well, we have a brand new month, and so it's an opportunity to try again. And we're doing something really exciting in this month of September. You know, every now and again, when we come to you with all of this talk about principles of business, bookkeeping, cybersecurity, how to raise capital, financing options, and all of that. Every now and again, we want to do what we call a litmus test of some sort and go back and talk to the business people to whom we're sharing all of this free information and say, listen, all the stuff that we share, you know, on strategy, have a positive mindset, how to raise capital, do this, do that, interest rates, you know, all the accounting principles, register your business, have a board of directors, all of that. When we come down to you in your business space, how does all that pan out for you? Is there enough time? There's always a big gap and a big difference between what should be and what is. And so we come back and we say, how are you doing in your business? You know, we go around and we speak to a few Ghanaians and we say, with all the things that we've been talking about, you know, high-level stuff, how is it really panning out in your business? So today we have a wonderful young Ghanaian here with us on the show, entrepreneur, runs her own business, is the CEO of, and I'm going to pronounce this wrongly deliberately because he corrected me just before we came on and I couldn't believe I had pronounced it wrong. Very, very popular on social media. For those of you who know, you know she's in the clothing industry and she's a determined and ambitious entrepreneur and she's the CEO of a company, Nessa, I said Nessa Shoes. I said Nuesa, but she will tell us the right pronunciation. It's a prominent footwear company with about 8 years of experience in the shoemaking industry, and she's showcased her expertise in producing a wide range of footwear. Her journey, like most Ghanaians, like most entrepreneurs, started when she completed her degree in chemical engineering from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. After school, she worked briefly as a petroleum engineer after a national service year. And despite her academic background, the same thing that we all go through, no jobs, no vacancy, no jobs, no vacancy. Fast forward, she took up the challenge and decided to do something for herself. For most of us listening this afternoon, a lot of us were, should I say, pushed into entrepreneurship during the COVID period when people had to stay home and do stuff for themselves entirely. No money was coming. If you don't move, the money doesn't come, you know. But Akosia started quite slightly earlier than most of us. And today she's here to share her story with us. So my guest for this afternoon's show is Akosia Sechi Ejekum, who is also the CEO of Nuesa Shoes. Drum roll. Akosia, you're welcome to the show. And I'm super excited. I think the first thing you should do is correct me. How do we pronounce the name of your company?
The Bully People.
Okay.
So I might even be pronouncing it wrongly.
Right.
It's like pronouncing an Italian or French word, and you're not French or Italian. You can never pronounce it better than they themselves.
No, but we pronounce bonjour. I think everybody says bonjour very well.
But not with an accent.
Bonjour? Oh, bonjour? So how do you pronounce?
So the Bully People call it Nuesa.
Nuesa?
Yeah, that means footwear.
So 3 syllable, Nuwesa.
Yes, Nuwesa. Yes.
Okay. Footwear.
Yes, footwear in their language.
Indigenous.
Like the way you say in Paboa. Or...
Are you bully?
No, I'm not.
But you love the bully people.
I don't even. Funny enough, my brother-in-law asked me when I mentioned it. He asked me, "Which language is that?" I said, "That's the bully language." He looked at me. Was like, "Well, that's where my father comes from. He doesn't even speak the language.
Small world.
Very small world."
Wow.
He doesn't speak. So I don't know anybody who is a bully. Just one lady. May her soul rest in peace. Esperanza. So I decided to look for a brand name.
That's truly indigenous.
That's very indigenous to Ghana, but not even to the average Ghanaian.
I didn't know that, and I'm sure many Ghanaians didn't know that. So to all my bully people who are listening this afternoon, if you know any bully people who are not listening, call them to listen in.
Yes.
Nuwesa is on the show this afternoon.
Yes.
It's on Masterclass.
Yes.
You're going to be telling us about your story.
Yeah.
The reason we do this, among many other things, apart from making sure that all the theories that we're sharing are practicalized in your business, it's also to serve as an inspiration. We always say here on the show that life is too short to make all the mistakes yourself. So there's really no reason to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
If person A has done it, the mistakes they made should not be made by person B.
Yeah.
So that when person B achieves a higher height, then person C becomes better. And that's how we grow as a people. That's how we grow as a country.
Yeah.
That's how we all grow. So we're going to listen to your story today to serve as an inspiration to a lot of people. But just some few fun facts. Coming here into the show, I just thought, let me just grab a few fun facts about startups and businesses.
Okay.
It's one of the most difficult things to do anywhere. People say it's difficult to start business in Ghana. It's difficult to start business anywhere. But that's why once you've been fervent and you've persevered, then the results come. So here are some interesting statistics. And this is not just peculiar to Ghana. It says this, and I picked this up online. This is from Wikipedia.
Okay.
28th June 2023. It says only 40% of startups are able to become profitable. I'm sure that some of my entrepreneurs listening are saying, yeah, you are right. Or maybe the 40 is even too generous. Only 40% of startups are able to become profitable. It doesn't mean you should stop. Let's try. We'll push that percentage up. Another fun fact, competition is the greatest challenge when starting a business. I'm sure some people may have different of opinion
Competition.
there. Competition is the greatest challenge when starting a business. I'm not sure you agree with that.
No, I don't
look on
agree.
your face. Okay.
I don't.
The next one says about 58% of startups have less than $25,000 at their disposal.
That one is true.
It's true. I think 25 million is a dozen. Okay.
That's
but
true.
There's another one here that I love. It says 60% of entrepreneurs agree that AI is currently the most promising innovation technology.
Yeah.
True or false?
That's very true.
Okay. Enough about fun facts. Let's start the conversation.
Okay.
Akosia Sechi Ejekun, CEO of Nuwesa Shoes. I like, when they're going to do an interview in some of the movies, we what is it? For the record, please tell us your full name.
Yeah.
I mean, your name is Akosia Sechi Ejekun.
Yes, that's my full name.
Is there any other name you want us to know?
Ajekumwa, but that is just is a household name.
It's a household name.
Yeah, that's what people close to.
A bit about your background.
Okay, so
and the reason we're doing this is so people can connect.
Okay.
So that they don't think that she's from a good home, everything was already there for her, and she's made it no news.
No.
We want to be able to connect reality. No. So don't tell us personal stuff, but just just a bit about
okay.
growing up.
I'm the last child of my parents. My daddy passed on early.
God bless him.
Yes. So my daddy passed on early. So I was brought up by my mom, who is a teacher. And then I have 3 other siblings.
Thank God for mothers, eh?
Yeah, thank God for mothers. 2 boys and then a sister. And then I had the opportunity to go to Holy Child School, and I studied general science there. Then
so all my Holy Co people this afternoon.
Yeah, all my Hobsons.
Your girl is on the show.
Then I moved to KUSC to do chemical engineering for 4 years.
Right.
Then after, I did my national service with GMPC. Then after GMPC, the national service, that's when the unemployment started staring at you in the face. I stayed home for a while. Then I got an opportunity to work with an HR consultancy firm in Westlands. Then after a while, I needed to come home for a bit.
There was more. You wanted to do more, and you felt that.
I felt stifled. I wanted to do more than that. And then
And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because there's always at least the next question I'm going to ask you, that when you first decided to go into business, what was it that pushed you?
okay, so what pushed me was while I was doing my national service, I was retailing the footwear. Somebody was making it and I was retailing it.
Side hustle.
A side hustle. Then after a while, because I was unemployed now, it means I could commit more time to doing it. But the person who was doing it for me couldn't meet up with my demand or how soon I needed it. And so I decided to look for someone to do it for me. And then in my search, and I met someone, my first boss or my first mentor, who said he was going to teach me and so that I could do it myself, because he doesn't think he might also get time to do it for me. So that's how.
Spend 30 seconds on this point for me.
Okay.
We always hear people say, Charlie, I got the edge to do it. A lot of people are afraid
It's
to
scary.
jump.
It's scary.
We're afraid to jump and let go. We're afraid to go into the unknown. You had a push. Some people are forced there by COVID. Some people, Charlie,
I didn't have the push.
Let's speak to somebody.
I didn't have the push.
30 seconds.
I didn't have the push.
You didn't have a job.
No, I didn't have a job. But then again, there are people who don't have jobs and they're still there. So I had, okay, so if you say I had the push, it wasn't an external push from anybody. I had to push myself.
Internally.
Yes, I had to push.
So there's a conviction to say, Charlie,
yes,
this is it.
I had to push myself. And throughout my journey, it's been pushing myself throughout. I mean, I haven't had people who like, we're going to push you in this direction, you should go in this direction. It's always been self-driven. Yes, so you have to get up. Really.
You have to get up.
You have to get up.
I like that. You have to get up. You're listening to us. You're thinking, Charlie, I need help from somebody. You have to get up, and it works. People have done this on their own and they forced. There's a dark period, small, but after that, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
I'm going to be very real here. You have to get up. If I tell you today I didn't want to come out like get out of bed, it's true. I didn't want to get out of bed, but then I remember that I had an interview today and I had to show up.
That's encourage somebody.
Yes, to tell you that I had to come here today. So it is not every day that you are motivated, but then you have to look. Somebody is looking up to you and you have to get up.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Let's talk about how you started. I mean, you were telling us about, you met someone who was going to teach you the business, and already you were doing this as a side hustle and all that. Before that question, though, sometimes theorists will say that people go into business for different reasons and all of Charlie, we want to make money. But sometimes they say that when you go into business to solve a problem you have identified, and you focus on solving the problem, then the money comes.
Yes.
Is it theory or is true?
If you find a solution to a problem, sometimes you have to find the problem first.
Naturally.
Locate the problem
Naturally.
first. Then you have to find a solution.
Yes.
When you're able to master the solution, you get money from it. But if you are not able to master the solution, then you become a pace setter. Then other people will look at the problem and find solutions to it, and they'll beat you in the market.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And there was Facebook. There was High Five before Facebook, right?
Naturally. A lot of people don't remember that.
Yes, there was High Five before Facebook. I mean, I think it's maybe the Gen Z. There was High Five before Facebook.
Free information.
Where is High Five now? There was Yahoo Messenger before Facebook Messenger. Where is Yahoo Messenger now? So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's talk about raising capital. And very good afternoon to you, Uncle Ken Thompson, Lex Finance, my father, my uncle. He talks a lot, very passionately about raising capital. And he has a category. I'm not going to talk about his category, but how did you raise capital for your business? I like the way you've exhaled.
Okay, let me tell you the truth.
Did you borrow from friends? Did you borrow from family? Did somebody give you money? Did you get a credit line?
First and foremost, at the beginning of my journey, right, I'd finished national service and I decided to go and learn a trade. When you are learning a trade in Ghana, you are not paid.
Apprentice, that's the word.
When you are an apprentice, I want someone who is learning a trade to connect to what I'm saying. When you are learning a trade in Ghana as an apprentice, you are not paid.
I hear it's you are the one who rather pays something to you.
You pay the person for teaching you.
Yes.
And then when you're about to leave too, you pay to exit. But during the tenure of your apprenticeship, you are not supposed to be paid. So right now, it's very difficult for the youth or someone to learn a trade because they expect their madam or their boss to pay them, to give them a stipend for food or transportation. Nobody's going to do that, so you are not going to learn a trade. Now, when I was doing that, I had some money saved from my national service, so that is what took me through that period. Now, if you're going to learn a trade and you don't have anybody to support you, you won't survive. Hairdressing, shoemaking, carpentry, plumbing, any of the auto services, you won't survive. So I had that, and that is what took me through that period. Now, when I decided to start, I reached out to a friend on Facebook. She used to be my classmate, Esther Fari. I don't know where in the world she is now.
Good afternoon to you, Esther Fari, if you're listening to us.
Yes. And she sent me money to buy my first set of tools.
Thank God for friends, eh?
Yes, thank God for friends.
Good friends.
Good friends. She sent me money to buy my first set of tools. So even before I left my boss's place, Tuget's place, I had my tools. I went to Kumasi to procure them.
But were you faithful to your friend? Did you pay back?
No, she didn't. She didn't.
She didn't want it back.
No, it was a gift.
Right.
And I don't know whether she thinks I have forgotten, but just last week I made a post on Facebook thanking her that I haven't forgotten that she bought me my first.
Please, if you can help somebody, help them.
Help them.
If you don't want it back, tell them you don't want it back. It's a gift. And you too, when you receive it, don't take it for granted.
Yes, don't take
Use it and let it count.
Yes. Don't take it for granted. So afterwards, I had my first set of tools, and then I started working. So when I decided to make my first pairs of footwear, the person who even took them didn't pay. Up to now, I'm not talking to the guy.
But the guy to try.
He didn't pay. And I started from the house. Now when I started working, I had this small machine. It can shake. It will shake and the machine will move from one side to the other side.
Yeah.
It was shaking so bad. I couldn't believe, how will I do this? Yeah, Ben saying, now take a taxi, put the machine inside, head towards, like I was working from the house and head towards where I currently work now to look for someone to fix it for me. So gradually, I make a sale, I buy material, I make a sale, I buy material. I virtually put all my money back into the business.
Tell us about your first sale. When you started on your own.
My first sale.
Your first sale.
My first sale, I'm saying, didn't bring me money.
The guy didn't pay for it?
He didn't pay for it.
Okay, but the first person who paid for it.
My very first sale.
What was the feeling like?
Oh, it was nice. Any money is nice.
But did you also feel a sense of accomplishment?
Yes, I did.
That it's paid off?
There's nothing like spending money.
It was like your first product.
Yes.
After your training.
Yes. There's nothing like spending money that you have earned. There's some accomplishments. I can't begin to.
It hits home differently.
Yeah, it hits home differently,
Yeah.
That's my brain moji in a media time. Yeah. It hits differently.
I say I know represent Hokra.
Oh, it's easy. It's very easy.
Okay. Tell us about your first setback. I know you've had a lot of challenges. I mean, like every other business person, but your very first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first one that really hit me really bad. I paused business to, how do I put it, to enhance my knowledge. Like the way you do a first degree and you want to do a master. So I put my business on hold for a while to go and learn somewhere. When I went to learn, the person didn't teach me. He took my money, he didn't teach me. And it was so far, I was doing it for 6 months, like 6 months. I was leaving my house every day to Dome. My phones were stolen. In a matter of 1 week or less, 2 phones were stolen. And I decided that it was too much for me.
Yeah.
I was working with someone, and just as I was about to get back, so resume the business, he passed away one morning while I was at work.
Dear.
Oh my God. I lost it. I think so far it's been the biggest setback.
Setback for you.
I lost every zeal to work. I couldn't work. Everything.
It was like everything that could go wrong was going wrong.
Could go wrong, had gone wrong. And I didn't want to work. There was no motivation. I just stayed home for a very long time. Till about like December. This happened like, let's say September. So about December when I said, okay, let me start working again. It was difficult. So while you are doing your business, some setbacks will hit you so hard. You can lose all your capital in a day based on a bad business decision you took. You can buy bad raw materials. someone can come and buy from you and not pay back on time. I know a friend who is going through that at the moment. It's huge money. And then you can even, I mean, fire happens. They said insurance people will tell you fire can happen. So can go to home, come back one day, and all your machines are broken down. That happened to me recently. All my machines broke down in 1 week. That's just like
Together.
all of them together. So I stopped taking orders because then people do not understand why my order is being delayed. So I'm like, okay, let me find a way to sort out all the orders that I already have, as against taking new one and compiling the pressure on me. So these are some of the setbacks. But you need to be honest. You need to communicate your setback to your customers so that they know what you're dealing with.
Okay.
As against being shady.
Yes, oftentimes you hear people say, I had a setback and I went through it. Because we're on air, we have only a few minutes. It looks like it's a blip. But you went through stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to deal with it emotionally. You went through the phases, all the phases of regret, remorse, you giving up, and then you came back.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is that you came back.
You have to come back.
And that's the point you made earlier, that no matter what happens, you have to come back.
Yeah.
You can't give up.
You have to remember that someone is there saying that you can't do it. Say a car so So are you going to give the person that
joy?
That joy.
Yeah. Talk to me about your raw materials.
Okay.
I know that leather should be key in your process.
Yes, leather is key.
Okay. So again, I picked up some stuff about leather online. I assumed I didn't know what leather was. So here's what I found again from Wikipedia. Apparently, leather is a byproduct, and the main sources of that raw material for the leather industry worldwide are cattle, including buffalo, sheep, goats, and pigs, who are reared specifically for the production of meat, wool, and dairy products. How do you source, or how available is it, or how unavailable is it, or talk to us about...
Leather is available in very limited quantities here. We actually use byproducts of or the excesses of what's produced in Europe or Italy. All my materials are Italian sourced.
Okay.
So we have people who import into the countries and then you buy from them. However, you cannot maintain continuity and consistency because it comes in very limited quantity. So if I have the shade of purple today and I run out of stock, I can't guarantee that the next time I'll get the same.
I'm going to get it. Yeah.
Yeah, the flexibility and you won't get the same.
The supply lines are inconsistent.
Very inconsistent.
And that also affects you, doesn't it? In terms
it does. But
the
then
consistency of your product.
Yes, it does. So, but the only thing that you can continually maintain, like, this is black leather.
Right.
But coffee.
That one is consistent.
That one is consistent. That one is always consistent. Even if you don't get it, you can change the color to black, but you can't change the color to red or purple or that. So the consistency is an issue.
Right.
Yeah.
So apart from leather, I know probably there are a few other raw materials.
So we have the other raw materials we use that's glue. Then we have what we use for the sole, which is also imported from China, Nigeria, Italy, and stuff like that. Yes. That one, if you want a certain quality to, that one is also limited. And it affects the price. It's a pricing thing.
Right.
Yeah. So if you want the higher quality ones are more expensive, as against the ones you can just tear apart with your hands. Yeah.
Right. In terms of the value chain for your business, I mean, when I say value chain, there are people along your line of business who make it possible for you to do what you do.
Yeah.
So would it be safe to say you're in the manufacturing industry?
Yes, I am in the manufacturing industry.
And so there are people, in transport, in customer service, and whatever. Talk to us a bit about your value chain.
So my value chain, let me start from the customer. The customer comes to me and brings a specific order. I want a pair of Oxfords in, let's say, brown. Okay. I'm going to assume I don't have brown leather.
What are Oxfords? They're a type of shoe.
You're not wearing Oxfords, you're wearing derbies. So the
Please,
Oxford...
for those of you, we are streaming live on Facebook. Why? If you want to see my derbies, I'm wearing derbies. Please go to our Facebook page and watch us live.
So the Oxfords are the closed loop. This is open. You see the sides here are open.
Right.
You have one that is a closed loop. That's one. Right. Yeah, they're all from our shoes.
So again, you just did something right there. Know your product.
You have to know
whatever you are selling or whatever. It's not that your shop attendant shouldn't know more than you. You are the owner. You should know.
Yes, you should know. But you see, the shop attendant also has to know.
No,
because even the customer doesn't know.
Right.
The customer doesn't know the name. You're wearing it, but you don't know. But when you come to me, I have to tell you what name.
But let me be mischievous and ask. So when people come to the shop, I mean, I know that some people, they've had the good upbringing and they've been exposed and they know. So do they say, Charlie, me pay black shoe, and now they say,
That's all.
I want Oxfords or
I want a
Derby.
black shoe.
Up to now, I didn't know that I was wearing Derbies.
No. I want a black shoe.
Wow.
Very few people know the type of shoes that they are wearing. Very few. Those are the shoe enthusiasts. Very few people know.
You were telling us about the value chain.
Yes. So you come to me and I'm assuming I don't have anything. So you want a pair of Oxfords in brown. So I go to my supplier, a vendor, and ask, I want brown leather. Maybe what kind of shade? Then I source it from there. The person who may sell the leather to you may not be the person who will sell the bona. That's what I use for the sole to you. So I go to someone else and procure bona. I go to someone else, procure lace, glue, and all other things. Then come back to the shop.
So that's like quite a few people in the value chain there, isn't it?
Yes, that's quite a few people. Come back to the shop. If I do not have the style you want, I now take a last. That's the mold of the foot of the shoe, and then draw what you have asked me. So
You draw it?
Yes, you have to take a 3-dimensional like this an image, and turn it into 2-dimensional. Are you getting me?
I'm only staring because I'm super impressed.
So this is 3-dimensional.
Yes. No, I get it completely, but
I get it.
I'm impressed that you're doing this here in Ghana.
This is 3-dimensional. So the mic is 3-dimensional. Let's say we are not going to use a foam for this, but it's like a fabric, and we need to make it.
Exactly.
We have to draw this shape on a round ball, cut the paper, put it on the paper, and now make it 2-dimensional. Cut the cloth, sew it, and put it back. That's what we do to a shoe.
So you have people with this skill on your team.
Yes.
What are they called?
We are shoemakers.
If you were buildings, I would say they are the architects or draftsmen. But if it's manufacturing of shoes, I don't know what to call
We are
them.
shoemakers.
If people can draw and make shoes as shoemakers, then the ones we call shoemakers, they are not shoemakers.
No, they are not shoemakers.
Wow.
They are cobblers, and there's another one, cod winers or something like that. They are not shoemakers.
Impressive.
They are cobblers.
But how do you manage the risk of all these various lines? Because then it requires quite a bit of planning.
Yes.
So that you have a bit of stock.
So what will help you is that you always have to have stock. You always have to have stock. So when you come to my shop, you would ask me, do you sell leather here?
You have a lot of leather.
Yes, I do. I try to buy and stock as much as possible, especially for brown leathers because they are not very common. And for certain colors, the ladies want their colors.
Right.
So you have to make sure those ones are there. So if someone comes to you and say, oh, I want crocodile green. By the time you go to the market, crocodile green is not available, but you have to have crocodile green there. So you see, of all the trades, shoemaking is the most expensive. Don't try if you don't have the support. When you take your dress to a tailor to sew for you, you go with a fabric. The tailor has a sewing machine.
Time to think about it. You're right.
The tailor has a sewing machine. Even if it's the singer type, it's a sewing machine. If he wants to do knitting, he takes it to someone else. He does the knitting for her. Then he brings it back. You pay her the money. If you don't have the fabric, you give her money to go and procure the fabric for you. In shoemaking, it's not like that. If you go to the carpenter, the table, I want a round table. Okay, Adriani Bay say the wood will cost this much. You pay for the wood and you pay an advance for your workmanship. Then he fixes it for you. In shoemaking, it's not like that. By the time you come to me, I must have the leather there. So you always need to pre-finance it. And the things we use to work are expensive. They are not cheap. I have to get brown leather. Someone will come, I want brown with a shade of wine. Ox blood. Someone will say, I want light brown. Someone will say, I want coffee brown. Someone will say, I want a shade closer to black. You need to have all that.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. I'm super excited. Somehow, maybe in my next life, I would like to learn that skill. If you just tuned in, this is Masterclass here on your Superstation Joy 99.7. We're having a conversation with Akosia Sechi Ejekum, who is the CEO of Nuesa Shoes. We will be getting interactive shortly so that you can be a part of that conversation. But before that, let me ask Akosia just maybe one more question. We'll be talking about packaging, branding, and marketing. But before we do that, I want my listeners to be part of this conversation. So we take a quick message from our sponsors. When we come back, we get interactive.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541 or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Welcome back. If you've just tuned in, this is Masterclass here on your superstation Joy 99.7. We're here in the studio with Akosia Sechi Ejekum, who's the CEO of Nuesa Shoes. We're interactive right now. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. That's 0302 216 541. You can also send us your comments on 055 997. If you have a motor vehicle of any kind, then here's some great news for you from GOIL. What do you do when you run out of fuel in your vehicle? Do you just stop anywhere? If that's what you do, then please don't do that anymore. Let us introduce you to the Good Energy family and why you must be a part of it. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP are the best quality fuels with high performance in town for your vehicle. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 is a high-grade fuel sold at the same price as normal fuel. GOIL Super XP is low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. With over 440 stations across the nation, join the family that rewards you with the quality for an energized driving experience. GOIL, Good Energy, GOIL, Yanara, Yedia. Residents and potential residents of Tema, Ashaiman, Michelle Camp, Afienya, Dawenya, Prampram, Chopoli, Nungwa, and Spintex Road, among others, there's some great news for you. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair will be at your doorstep this September. The date is Friday the 15th through to Sunday the 17th September 2023. The venue is the Tema Municipal Assembly premises. The time is from 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. daily. Exhibitors include finance companies, real estate developers, insurance companies, land vendors, and providers of housing accessories, home appliances, furniture, home security, and roofing, among others, as well as companies who sell building materials. To exhibit your products, please call us on 0540 110 389 or 0244 260 653. The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair Tema is in partnership with EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and with the planned city extension project from Cities and Habitats. And all of this is sponsored by Elegant Homes, where quality meets value, Global Lighting, your solution to quality lighting, Syntex Tank, air strong, air tough, Gold Key Properties, building prestige since 1997, Springfield Estates, where dreams are built, Virtual Security, complete security solutions, DBS, your roof experts, Virtual InfoSec Africa, security solutions by design, St. Goban, making the world a better plan, Clifton Homes, beautiful homes, wise investments, and the Kensington Heights at the Airport City Kumasi by HDG Homes Limited. Phone lines are now open, 0302216541. Please pick up that phone, give us a call. You want to ask Akosia a question on her story, we'll still be having the chat. But otherwise, you want to get interactive, you can also send us your comments on 05511119997. I've got a few more questions here for you, but I think I have something on social media. Let me see if I can pick that quickly. It says, this one is from, you did not add your name. So this is Apau Benedict. Okay, it says, good afternoon, this is Apau Benedict. I want to know about her raw materials used and how best we can help produce locally. So Apau, she just talked about a few of her raw materials, the biggest one being leather. So what we'll do is I will put the contact details out after the conversation, and then I'm sure you can reach her back door and then be a help. There's a correction on something we said earlier. Abik, if you can bring that back on the bully and busa.
You
Yes.
gave me a bully Bible.
So this is from Albert Seth Okran from Spintex. It says you can get us a bully Bible. Would like that. He says, please, did you say bully people? Bully is the language, but the people are Bulsa or Bulsa.
Yeah, Bulsa.
Just a little correction. Thank you so much for the program, which are very educative. I've learned a lot from them. Albert, thank you for the correction. So to all my Bulsa people who speak the Buli language, we have Nuesa Shoes here on the show this afternoon. Please keep your comments coming through 055-1111-997, and let's all learn from each other. I have a couple of questions for you. When a customer buys from Nuesa, what are they buying? There's no right answer to this question.
No, they're buying...
What is the value that you sell to them?
They are buying a one-of-a-kind footwear they might never meet anybody wearing again.
Okay, so sell Nuesa shoes in 10 seconds.
And the sports bar.
Tell my male listeners why the next shoes they buy, the next set of shoes they buy should be Nuesa shoes.
If you want to walk into a room and you want someone to pay attention to your feet and remember what you are wearing, come and buy from me.
Come and buy from me.
That's all.
Brilliant. I like that. How do you advertise your goods?
I use social media.
Social media.
And then opportunities like these, so I get to market myself.
Okay. Social media, is it helpful these days?
Yes, it is. Everybody's on social media.
What's attraction? Are you able to measure your traction on social media in terms of number of hits, number of leads, number of businesses generated?
Yes. You're able to hit you. And funny enough, the people who get to see you or read or see or visit your post, your page, do not interact with you on social media. They just come back door. They just immediately hit your WhatsApp and then they do business with you. So,
I've got a question on social media. I beg if you can open that one up for me. It says, I didn't get your name. Okay, it says, okay, I'll still read it anyway. I don't have your name, but please add your name when you send the message. It says, good afternoon. Please, does she make ladies' shoes?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
You know, people are paying attention. People pay attention to what you do.
Yeah.
It is only your food that people don't eat,
But they're watching.
But people watch you. I got an opportunity to be on another media, a very big one. And then afterwards, someone called me and said, oh, she does beats and she wants that opportunity too. So do I have a contact or how did I contact them? I said, madam, I was there in my shop and I was called.
Wow.
So please, whatever it is that you are doing, people are watching you. They'll call you. They'll reach for you.
They'll reach for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so where can we find your products?
If you want to find my products, you'd have to order using social media. By social media, I mean through Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp.
Will you put your handles out?
Yes, I would. For my business line is 0247 279 574.
Can you take that again slowly?
0247 279 574.
Okay, we'll put it out again before we leave.
Yes, and then on Facebook is Nuesa Nuesa shoes. That's all.
Okay.
On Instagram and then Facebook.
On
then you
Facebook as
find
well.
me. You find all my images. I'm more active on Facebook. You find all my images on Facebook. If you don't like anything you've seen, just come. We can still deliberate and then do something just for you.
And if you're getting married, you don't need to go and order shoes from where. I don't want to do free.
I know, right?
There are shoes here in Ghana. They can make it for you. See, even if you want your name under the shoe,
We can write it for you. We can write it for
so
you.
patronize made in Ghana goods.
If it is the tip of the shoe you want us to put your name, we'll put your name there for
That's
you.
all.
That's all.
Oftentimes, business experts will say that there's something called market segmentation.
Yeah.
And so you can't be all things to all men.
Yes.
Is your product tailored towards a certain segment of the market, or do you have a product for a number of segments?
I do not currently have products for every segment of the market. I make products for people who have appreciation of fine footwear. Yes.
That hits home.
Yes. You need to have the appreciation. Because if you don't appreciate it, how would you understand that it takes me probably 1 week to make this stitching, and as such, it comes with a certain price. So it is not, I don't make footwear for everybody.
There's a question on social media. Kadan so in Dawenya. But Charlie said that it's like you've already made up your mind. It says, please ask your guest, why is it that made in Ghana products are very expensive?
Okay, so made in Ghana products are not mechanized. As against going to China to procure something, and they're producing like maybe 1 million pieces a day.
And it's a machine that is just
It's a machine that is just doing it. If you come to me, you can sit in the shop and I'll be cutting it. So you get an input every step along the way. Now, if you want to take this same process to Europe and you want to bring it into your Ghana city, you can't pay. You want a handmade shoe. Someone is selling a handmade shoe to you for 600 cedis, and you're saying it's expensive. A handmade shoe is going for more than 1,000 USD. Calculate, to do the comparison. It doesn't tally anywhere.
Yeah. But with time, economies of scale will set in.
Yes.
And our things will become a bit more affordable. So,
Yes.
Mr. Danso, let's support our own. After a while, when we get a lot of business and we are exporting, and I'm coming there, do we sell to the international market?
I do. I have international. I have customers. Well.
Is it picking up?
Yes.
Is after helping in any way? The Africa Free Trade Continental Area. I mean, are we going to sell to Togo, to Benin, to Nigeria, to Angola, to Gambia? That's why you're doing visa. Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. But there's promise.
Yes.
Talk to us about people management. The recruitment of your team cohesion, your team structure. As an so what have your experiences been, and what are the learning points, so that someone listening
As
can
a
also...
business owner,
It's tough, eh?
when you decide to first and foremost do business in this country, if you have temper issues, anger issues, make sure you keep it under your pillow every morning.
In fact, the first thing you should buy is an ice chest.
Yes.
And you remove your hat and put it inside.
And then you step out. Because your employees are going to set you off. The Ghanaian employee thinks he's doing the boss a favor. And so if I don't come to work, the business will not go. And that you are making all the money and giving them chicken change. There are so many sides of a business that as an employee you don't see. You don't see it. And there are so many sides as an employee that the employer also doesn't see.
Have you ever had to let any of your staff go?
Yes, I have.
A few of them.
Yes, I have.
Was it a difficult decision to make?
It's an extremely difficult one.
But sometimes it's necessary.
Sometimes it's very necessary.
When you recruit, how do you know you're getting the right people?
I recruit based on skill sets. So it is based on skill sets. Then the person's ability to do the job. Then you have to look at the attitude too.
Right.
If the person can do a good job and will pilfer from you, doesn't make any sense. If you know you can't trust this person, it doesn't make any sense to leave to work with that person.
So skill is good, but attitude is even better as an addition.
Yes, yeah.
What are your thoughts on customer experience? Generally.
Yeah. They say the customer is always right.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
I don't believe in that,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay.
I don't believe in that the customer is always right. The customer is keen, yes.
Okay.
But the customer is not always right. And as a business owner, you are also not always right. Yeah. So you have to be able to manage the customer's expectation and make sure that everybody who does business with you leaves with an experience. It has to be a good experience so that they are able to refer people to you. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of a leader would you say that you are?
I'm not autocratic. I'm not an autocratic leader. I'm not an autocratic leader. And I believe I want to get everybody's opinion. As a team leader, you have to get other people's opinions. Maybe I think we should use this route. No, I think we do this better. But then again, in as much as you are bringing everybody's opinion on board, you should realize that the crown rests on your head. And at the end of the day...
And uneasy lies the head.
Yes, uneasy lies the head.
That's where's the crown.
Yes.
Okay, so here's what Alexander the Great had to say about leadership. He says that, I'm not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I am afraid of an army of sheep
Led by a lion.
led by a lion. What kind of a leader do you think you are?
I'm not a lion leading a sheep anyway.
Don't worry, you can keep that to yourself. So your final thoughts. I mean, let me ask you this one though. There's a lot of talk about innovation, ChatGPT, and all of that. Are you using it now? Do you intend to use it?
Yes, I use ChatGPT a lot.
Okay.
There are days where you run out of words. And your words, you may not communicate effectively enough. When you go to Chat GPT, it's able to refine your thoughts for you, and then you communicate it to whoever it says you want to communicate to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your final thoughts. What should we leave this conversation with? What's the one thing on your heart that, and when you've done that, put out your contacts and your handles again for me.
I think we should cut the average Ghanaian business owner some slack. We are racing against time, and we are working with very limited resources. So when somebody goes to town to buy a pair of shoe, an Italian or whatever brand of shoe, and he comes on and it comes off. If you go to the mall, you buy a shoe and it comes off. You will never hear anybody say, "Hey, and I brought phone pub way the No, nobody says that. But you go to a Ghanaian shoemaker, you buy a shoe and it comes apart. And of when you my papa crow. So you cut us some slack. We are trying to do our best. And please patronize made in Ghana stuff. It is not that our stuffs are expensive. If you are going to peg it to the international market, we really are doing very well. And then because maybe a prophet is not respected in his hometown, maybe.
If we want to call you, how do we reach you?
0247 279 574.
So to my listener who asked about how to contact her and where she gets her leather from, you can please call her once the show is done. On social media, I think you mentioned earlier that Nuesa Shoes is once we search with that on all channels, we'll get it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. This has been Masterclass here on your Superstation Joy 99.7. We've been here in the studio with Akosia Sechi Ejekum, CEO of Nuesa Shoes, and it's part of the Startup Reality Dialogue series. Today is also the birthday of one of our, should I say, wonderful resource persons. He's home to Masterclass, been with us on the show a number of times, Mr. John Armour. He's been here several times. John, a very good afternoon to you from Masterclass, and a happy birthday. Let us know where the party is so that after the show, we'll all jump in our cars and come straight to you. But God bless you. You're +1 today. Have a blast and enjoy your day. From Sarah and everyone here, Joy Business Masterclass, thank you that you continue to be a blessing to us here on Masterclass. This has been Masterclass. Thank you so much for joining us and listening. God willing, we'll see you same time.